back to the Modern Sense podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Thompson. Today, I'm thinking of kicking off something brand new. Alongside my regular deep dive episodes where I typically feature a guest, I'd like to introduce a new weekly feature that I'm calling the Modern Sense Minute. And the reason for this is twofold. As a financial planner, I spend my week in the trenches with clients. So I'm navigating real fears, complex transitions, and the constant noise of the headlines. But I wanted to create a dedicated space every week to bring you one high signal insight from those conversations. So, in approximately 5 minutes, we're going to take a real world client situation and make it make sense and maybe for your life and how it's applicable in your life. So, there's no fluff here, just the reality of what I see every day in modern financial planning. And the second reason that I want to bring this to light is really that there's so much that doesn't get to be said in client conversations, in media, and it's all of the between the lines, the emotional side of financial planning that we don't often bring enough light to. So I really wanted to take that direction with my Modern Sense Minute and ensure that we bring that human side of financial planning to the forefront. So this week, I wanted to share a conversation I had with a client that perfectly illustrates what people are actually looking for when they sit down with their financial planner. For months, this client and I have been focused on what she wanted to get to, her specific goal being retirement planning. We had a discovery meeting. We had many back and forth conversations over email. And every time we checked in with each other, the focus was really around retirement. I want to focus on retirement. I want to get to retirement planning. But when we finally sat down to do the actual retirement planning piece, something shifted in our conversation. I had done 3 scenarios for this client to try to illustrate the various paths or routes that she felt could be possible for her and her family leading up to retirement. But she didn't actually care about the retirement math, nor did she care about the fact that she could make it based on the assumptions that we had made. As we started to have the conversation and peeled back the layers, I realized that retirement was really just a placeholder word. What she was actually feeling was the deep seated fear about sustainability. So she works in a role where she earns variable income. And like so many of us right now, she's watching the headlines about AI and seeing the potential for massive job displacement. So her real fear wasn't, can I retire in 10 years? It was, will my role even exist in 5? And if my income disappears, can I still sustain my family's lifestyle? And that's the reality of modern financial planning. We often think that we're looking for a certain destination, let's say a date on a calendar, but what we're really looking for, what clients are really looking for is resilience. So my client was looking for an answer to the what if. So, what if AI changes my industry? What if my variable income, it's a valley? So we stopped talking about the time horizon for retirement and we started talking about creating a sustainability plan for the next 10 years. And when we did that, that really shifted the focus of the conversation. We really stopped looking at the numbers and we started looking at what is actually required of her in her variable income role to meet her family's lifestyle needs. And if she never put another dollar into her savings, if it wasn't possible for her to earn enough to save more, would she be able to step away from her role? Or if she was phased out of her role earlier, would the current savings and pensions that they had be enough to sustain them in retirement? So if you're listening to this and you've been obsessing over a long-term goal, I do want you to ask yourself, is that goal actually what I'm worried about? Or is there a more immediate fear about your ability to sustain your life in a changing world? In general, financial planning isn't just about saving for that end goal. It's about making sure that the now is secure so that you can make it to the later. And that's the core of what we do at Modern Sense. It's about finding the human concern underneath the financial goal. So this wraps up my very first episode of the Modern Sense Minute. If you're feeling that what if anxiety about your own career or income sustainability, you aren't alone, and you can always talk to a financial planner and create some sustainable and practical strategies to plan for that. You can find more resources and connect with us at our website, www.modernsense.ca. And I'll be back soon with another full length episode. But until then, thanks for spending 5 minutes with me. I'm Andrea Thompson, and I will see you next week for the Modern Sense Minute.